seems to work. I got sunshine. Do you see my sunshine? Sunshine on my mind. I got sunshine all the time. I got sunshine everywhere I go. And I want you to know I got sunshine when it hurts and when nothing seems to work. I got sunshine. Do you see my sunshine? Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Yeah. Da da. I got sunshine on my mind. I got sunshine all the time. I got sunshine in my hair. I got sunshine everywhere. I got sunshine on my mind. I got sunshine all the time. I got sunshine. Do you see my sunshine? Halo, halo, halo. Diva, yeah, yeah. Hey yo, halo, and hey y'all. Sunshine, what's going on? Almighty halo. All right, today I'm doing this pre-session that, don't worry about it. It's just a pre-session. Just know it is the pre-session. It is a pre-session. All right, we early for next week. Just don't worry about it. Just join in and sing along. All right, so now this is what we're doing. We're doing the pre-session. And what am I talking about today? Today I am talking about nature versus legal process. All right, I want to talk about nature versus the legal process and how everything that we're seeing in this what we call man's law and legal process is mimicking nature. All right, so we're dealing with the trust law for basics, trust law basics for business. And so once again, we're encouraging everybody, if you want to be a part of that, go to unarepublic.com/learn, unarepublic.com/LEARN. You guys want to catch that because I tell you, we're doing and dealing with a lot of things in that session concerning businesses and making sure that your business is protected. And not only that, we support each other in that seminar. So it's a great seminar. Loving us. Halo. Glad to see you. So now we want to encourage everybody to go to unarepublic.com/learn. If you can't get into that one, you can go to the Back to Basics seminar, and you can catch that at divalaree.com, DIVALARI.com, divalaree.com. All right, and so we're doing this pre-session, and y'all know our guys just thank the spirits. Thank you, spirits. Thank you, spirits, for allowing me to be here and share this information with everybody who wants to have it. Can you all hear me clearly out there? My spirits with vessels. Can y'all hear me clearly out there? Let me know, please, if you can. Hello, Clarence. So we're talking today about nature versus legal process as we do this pre-session for the Trust Law for Basics seminar. Trust Law Basics for Business seminar, because that's a very important seminar. And again, it's dealing with getting your business under trust and protecting your assets. And in that seminar, we go through the spiritual side of things too, and how important it is to know that when you're in business. So we're also going to today, what we're going to do is go through this understanding about how this legal process mimics what's going on in nature, all right? And how I can, when you start understanding how this thing works and how this game works, you will be able to see certain things and how they happen and they take place even with yourself, and especially with how other people are operating and how they're handling their different processes. All right, so I want to say thank you, and thank you once again for joining us. All right, so going through this now, y'all gonna have to stick with me. Y'all have to be with me because this is going to go a little bit deep. Because again, a lot of us are not recognizing and understanding what's going on with respect to nature and with respect to these legal processes. So give me one moment. All right. One moment. One moment. I want to make sure we got our vibe right. All right, now, so here we go. We're dealing with this nature versus legal process. All right, so let's understand how this works. Now, normally I use visual aids. But today, y'all better follow me, be with me, and I want to thank everybody once again for joining us. All right, so now here's the deal. When we're talking about nature, let's get on this. With nature, everything develops from the darkness. Y'all got to remember that nature is only mimicking universal law. Nature is mimicking universal laws. It's just a reflection of what's going on with universal laws. All right, so now, with respect to nature, everything starts in the darkness. The darkness or in the soil. All right, nothing develops in the light. Everything starts from the darkness in the soil. All right, so we plant seeds in the soil in order to grow plants. Y'all follow me, because a lot of times when I get on this, people they want to act as though, well, this nature diva, we know how the plants grow. Well, pay attention, because now you're going to understand how this legal process works. So when you understand this nature side, then again, I told y'all everything underneath that just becomes child's play. Go to unarepublic.com/docs, DOCS. unarepublic.com/docs, DOCS, and download the hierarchy of law. Download the hierarchy of law chart, because this is going to help you understand what order these laws are in. So we have the universal laws first up here at the top, and then we've got natural laws. All right, this is nature that's mimicking or reflecting what's going on with nature. Now, so then you understand where the legal stuff is all the way down here with these corporations. All right, when you understand this up here, everything underneath it is child's play. So let me get back to this. When a seed is to be developed, you must plant that seed. You must plant that seed, all right, in order for it to grow and develop into a plant. Now, understand this. Y'all see this? This is representing the soil. And when you plant that seed in the soil, you got to plant it in the soil. It's not going to grow up here. This is the light, and this is the soil or the darkness. Everything starts in the darkness. The light is a reflection of what took place in the darkness. Y'all pay attention, because I'm just going to go a little bit deep. And if you understand this and you grasp these concepts, everything else is going to be easy for you to understand, even when you get into law. Everything must start in the darkness. This darkness is also considered private, the private side. The darkness is the private side in the soil. All right. This up here in the light, that's the public. It's like, so by the time a tree comes up and this plant starts to grow up here and develop on this side, this top side of the soil, that's the public. Now, all right, in understanding that and how nature works, because this legal process is very similar to that. That's why I'm telling you this down here in the darkness. This is the private. This is for us to be seen and nobody else. All right, this is the public up here. Now, let's understand what this seed is. We plant this seed. This seed goes down here into the soil. When we plant that seed is a contract. All seeds are a contract. This seed is a set of laws. Y'all listen to me now. Listen to me. Because a lot of people are not understanding and recognizing. You just think, oh, it's a seed. I'm going to plant it and then I'm going to grow something. No, what you got to understand is that seed has a contract. That contract in that seed is going to tell it, okay, well, this is a fruit, or this is a vegetable. It's going to be green, or it's going to be purple, yellow, or orange. This seed is a set of contracts, and it is going to determine what shows up here in the public. The seed is a contract that's going to determine what shows up here in the public. All right? So based on whatever that seed is that you have planted, whatever the contract is you've planted, that's what's going to grow from this soil. Now, y'all, I know you're getting this. Oh, we get it, Devo. We got it. Can you move forward? Okay, I'm going. Hold on. Pay attention. Pay attention. Now, once this whole seed starts to grow and you see this in the public, it is a reflection. Listen to me. It is a reflection of what took place in the soil on the private side. Why is this important? Because when you know what this tree is, you have to recognize, okay, there was a seed that was planted in here in the soil. Okay. Now that we're getting this, let's understand how this takes place with law and what we call the legal process or administrative process. You'll write it down, administrative process. In the administrative process, all right, there's always going to be a contract, a seed, a contract that started in the private. A contract that started in the private. It's always started in the private. So listen to what I'm saying to you. When you recognize that this system mimics nature, it has to mimic nature, by the way, because that's the only way they're able to maintain a balance. See, the people running this game, they full well know universal laws. They know that things have to mimic nature or mimic the laws. Otherwise, they can't maintain a balance. They can't maintain a balance because it's going to be thrown off because it's not natural. Really, everything we're doing is natural. So either they learn how to throw it off by mimicking nature, or they totally flip nature upside down, which is what's going on in this dimension as well. But getting back to the legal side is still mimicking nature. So with these people, what they'll do when we're talking about legal issues, there's always going to be a contract, boom, put into the soil. And what happens is you have the opportunity to deal with that seed that's in the soil. The only way you can deal with this seed that's in the soil is to plant another seed. Pay attention to what I'm about to say. Pay attention. Because when this seed is down here in this soil, once it starts to grow, if there's an issue with this plant or this tree, and you want to deal with it, you're not going to deal with this tree by just plucking some leaves off. The leaves up here are brown, and you think you're going to pluck some leaves off and you're going to deal with it that way. No, that tree still has issues in its roots. So if you don't go down to the soil and deal with the roots of that tree or that plant, that tree is going to continue, it's going to die, or whatever you think it's supposed to do. That tree won't do it. You got to deal with the soil and the contract that's in the soil. Without that, you're not doing anything up here in the public. All right? This is why we talk about how you fight. Everybody wants to, once you get a contract, see, watch this now. What are we talking about when I say this tree in the public? We're talking about a lawsuit that's in public court where somebody's got you in court for your house, or suing you for your car, or suing you for whatever. That is a public situation that has been created because somebody didn't deal with this contract that was in the private. All right, I've had a lot of people. See, a lot of people will come to me and they'll say, well, the IRS, they suing me and I ain't doing that. They ain't even tell me. All right. And so I have to ask them. And I've had this, several times. And this where I got to the point where I'm like, okay, that's enough. I know these people playing the game. See, a lot of people say, they don't play by the rules. Now, you don't know what the rules are. And so when I see them, when I'm trying to help these people, and I see that these people have played by the rules because they have planted seeds, then I have to back off because they're playing by the rules. They're doing what nature says. All right. So what am I talking about? I've had several people to come to me, for example, and they might say, oh, the IRS is, they're garnishing my wages. And I'll say to them, okay, when did they send you a contract? Oh, they didn't send me no contract. I ain't received not now contract. No, I didn't get. Okay. So then we call the IRS, or really, and so you got to understand, there's the IRS, and then there's the Internal Revenue Service, all right? There's the IRS, and then there's the Internal Revenue Service. The IRS is a private corporation. It is not a true government corporation. That's the one who's garnishing your wages, not the Internal Revenue Service, because the Internal Revenue Service is the true federal government. They're supposed to give you money. But the IRS, that's a corporation trying to take your money. And if you contract with them and you don't answer, well, then that's when you're standing in dishonor, and that's when they garnish your wages. Okay, remember now, how are they garnishing your wages? It's all has to do with contracting. So if y'all understand the legal process or the administrative process that I told you about, I'm gonna go through that. We're going to go through that and understand how the administrative process works. But they follow the administrative process. Y'all need to understand what it is. This is why we have these seminars and these sessions for you to come to when we're talking about trust law for basics. By the way, if y'all want to join that, unarepublic.com/learn. unauniversity.com/learn. unauniversity.com/learn. Now, watch this now. When these people want to garnish your wages, there's always a 4-step process. Listen up and listen close to the administrative process. There are 4 steps to it. The first one is going to be that initial contract. That's going to be that initial contract whereby they're sending you a notice telling you, hey, we're going to contract. It's all it is a contract. Hey, you owe us this and this and this because of whatever we feel that you made on your taxes, your W-2 form. They're sending you that. If the Internal Revenue or IRS rather, if the IRS is coming at you, you've signed some kind of document agreeing that you're going to pay them. You signed a document agreeing that you were going to pay them. So what they're going to do is they're going to come after you and they're saying, hey, you need to send us the money that you said you were going to pay us. That's the first contract. Step 1. That's contract. When they send that to you, and most of the people, they do not answer. You don't recognize when you don't answer, what you've done is agreed to all of the terms of the contract that they have sent you. You have agreed by not answering. Okay, number 2, they're going to send you a second notice. And they're going to say, hey, we sent you a notice telling you that we're going to garnish your wages on such date. You need to reply to this by that date. Otherwise, we're going to garnish your wages for this much. That's step 2. That's called a notice of fault. Step 3. Hey, you didn't get our other notices, so now we're going to be garnishing your wages. We've already sent this to the court, blah, blah, blah. That's step 3. That's the notice of default. Notice of default. So the second one is notice of fault. Third one is notice of default. Now, then we have the 4th step, where in a lot of cases they'll bring you into court with the Internal Revenue Service or whomever. They're bringing you into some kind of court, whether it be federal or otherwise. That is step 4. That is public. These steps right here were private. All these were private. Right down here in the soil. They were in the soil. All right? So you got this seed down here growing in the soil, and the only way you can take care of it is by entering your own contracts down here. But no, you don't do that. The next thing you know, this thing goes what? Into the public, It goes into the public. Now this is a tree. And for everybody to see. It's a public situation. Now, when somebody comes to me, and I've had, as I told you what this person was who had Internal Revenue Service, and they say to me, well, they didn't send me a notice. I know that when I see someone who's in a public court, I already know that they have been served. That's part of the process. If they don't play by that process, they're going to devour themselves. This is why I'm telling you, these people know this game. They have to play by the rules to some extent. Otherwise, they're going to devour themselves. Y'all got to know that. So by the time this thing gets into court, I know that what I'm seeing is something taking place up here in the public. I know that listen, I know there was a seed started down here. I know they did the process. You know, when somebody says to me, no, they just decided to start garnishing my wages. I already know. That's like me going outside and seeing a tree and somebody telling me that tree doesn't have any roots. Well, how you going to tell me the tree doesn't have any roots when I'm sitting here looking at it? It's got green leaves on it. It's growing, it's coming up out of the ground. You mean to tell me this tree doesn't have any roots? I already know the tree has roots because I'm sitting here looking at the result of what was done in the soil. So y'all got to understand, when I see a public notice for someone in court, I know that they didn't handle their business in the private, because that's a public process. This is why we talk about making sure you know how to write contracts. We talk about making sure you know how to answer contracts, and actually making sure you know how to recognize a contract when it comes to you. So what I'm saying to you is, when we're understanding private versus public, then you're going to recognize it's the same thing when we're looking out here at nature. When we're looking at nature, the private is where the seed is started. The public is the tree that you see growing up out of the soil. And the deal is the same way you know, if you have a tree that's sickly or is not doing well and you want to administer to that tree, you don't just go and pluck off the brown leaves and think that, okay, that's going to do it. No, you got to deal with what's going on in the soil. So if you have a situation where there is a tree up here, meaning you got a lawsuit of some sort, you got to plant your own seed, meaning your own contract, your own set of laws. That's what it's going to take for you to deal with the other seed that they put in the ground. No, you put your seed in the ground. You put your contracts down here in the private, and that's how you take care of this other tree. Because if you're just trying to be up here and deal with this stuff in the public, you're not really doing yourself justice. This is why we're talking about. See, let me go into this. When we're talking about, and if you all have any questions, please ask them in the comment section. I'll be glad to get to them. Thank you all for joining me, Clarence Montriniki. I hope I'm saying that right. William, Todd, loving us. Thank you all, Sunshine and Clarence. So, one of the things we want to understand in dealing with law and recognizing is that when you have contracts, when you have a contract down here in the private, this is where you get your power from. All right, so let me go back to this. When you're a defendant in court, this is when they sent you notices from the IRS or whomever else trying to garnish your wages, and then you don't answer and they take this into court. See, now you're a defendant up here. You're a defendant with this tree. You don't want to be a defendant. You want to be a plaintiff. And the only way you can switch the game to work for you is to plant a seed, meaning you got to know how to write contracts. You got to know how to answer to these people or answer them when they're sending you a contract. Oh, you're going to send me a contract? We're going to flip the script. I'm going to be the plaintiff over here suing you. And then you grow your tree. You understand? That's how the game works. So you can't just deal with this situation up here in the public and think that because all you are is a defendant, and that's why you are forever going to be coming from behind the game. But when you flip the script and you plant your own contract, your own private process, then they have to answer to you. Again, all of this is dealing with nature. So what is a seed? I told you, this seed is a contract. It's a set of laws. What is this soil? This soil is representative of the private. The private. And so if you're wanting to make sure that you knock out all of these contracts under here, you've got to go in the private, meaning you've got to know how to write contracts. We deal with that in the Trust Law Basics for Business session. Also, again, if you feel that you're not ready for that, if you don't have a business and you just want to get the basics, go get back to basics. And you can go to divalaree.com. DIVALYRI.com, and you can register for that. You get all of the videos for that. You'll get a consultation for that. So go ahead and register for that now. It's only $300 for that. You can get that now. You can get all of the videos, get an understanding of how to create your trust and develop it, and put your all capital letter corporation name under trust for yourself. All right. So go to divalaree.com if you want to get that. If you want to be in the business session and you feel that you're ready for it, go to you can go to Trust Law, or actually go to UNA University, unauniversity.com/learn, LEARN. Let me see if y'all have any questions. If y'all have any questions or comments, I want to know so that I can answer it. Let me get back to this. If y'all not going to ask any questions. All right, so now, in understanding this, when you have a process up here in the public, and it is coming against you, that means that you didn't answer or handle your business down here in the private. That's what I know, because I understand this. That is, everything is like nature. And the same way I know that if I'm looking at a tree with green leaves on it and it's growing up, I know that thing has to have some roots. And the roots are representative of the seed that started in the soil. So don't tell me it doesn't have roots. So again, I'm getting back to this scenario or this situation with someone who wanted me to, or who I had as a client. And he's telling me all of this stuff about, oh yeah, they didn't send me anything, and that, I never got a notice. And I'm saying they're garnishing your wages. I know they had to send you a notice. Okay, well then, they didn't send you a notice. Let's get on the phone and call the internal, or IRS, not the Internal Revenue Service, but IRS, the private corporation, and find out what's really going on. So I get on the phone with them, and we're giving them the information about this whole situation. I'm ready to fight. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. What you mean? This is my client, and you're going to garnish his wages, and you haven't told him. So we call, and we're getting, they're passing us to different people. Okay, so we must have been transferred 3 or 4 times. Finally, we get down to somebody, and they're like, okay, yes, we sent him a notice on, now he's on the phone with me. We sent him a notice on such day. And I asked him, and he gets quiet. He's like, yeah, that was, yeah, okay. But I gave that to my lawyer who was supposed to answer it. Then she goes on to say, yes, and then we sent him another notice of default, or notice of fault rather. It's the notice of fault. And we sent him a notice of fault on such day. And I'm like, is this true? And he's like, oh yeah, but I passed to my lawyer. I thought my lawyer was supposed to. Okay, so now we're going through this, and then they say, okay, yeah, we sent you another one on this day. Did they send you another one on? Oh yeah, but he didn't. He never answered it. So you got to understand, they've sent him all 3 processes. Notice of first, your initial notice. Listen, you signed, and I asked him, did you sign any kind of agreement saying that you would pay them this money? Yes, he did. So they've sent him the notice letting him know, hey, you agreed to pay this money. And he never answered. Hey, you notice of fault. You didn't answer our first message. We're going to start garnishing your wages. Third one, notice of default. Okay, you're going to be garnished. And now, about a year later, that's when they start this garnishment process. But he has been notified. There was even a court date. He didn't even take notice of it. So you've got to understand, when these processes are going on, these people are following the administrative process. Y'all, I want y'all to understand something and take note. Pay attention now. I'm trying to help y'all. Pay attention to this. What you have to understand is, when there's a situation where these people send you a notice, and let's say they're trying to take money from you, when you send a written dispute, they cannot take money. They can't even move forward. When you send a written dispute whereby you may be asking them questions, or you might be just simply saying, I don't owe you that. I want you to prove it. Show me an account, a statement account saying I owe you that. Anything. When you simply answer, they can't garnish your wages. They can't stop. Like, let's say it's a situation where it's a light bill, gas bill, water bill. And if some of y'all would read your bill statements, it would tell you that clearly on the bill statement. When these people are claiming they're going to garnish your wages or shut off your services or whatever, it tell you, if there's a dispute, they can't shut the service off. What is a dispute? A dispute is you writing a letter or typing a letter or whatever and signing it and sending it in saying, I don't owe you that. I'm not going to pay you that. That price is too high. I think whatever you say, they can't shut your service off. All right, so had he even just simply responded to these people, I don't owe you that, then they wouldn't even start the garnishment process. All right, so the second thing they did, they sent him the second notice. They're telling you a notice of fault. So, and then the third one, notice of default. Notice of default means that's it. We're not giving you any more chances. We're going to take some money. And so at this point, they're going through the true federal government to get the right to pull money out of his account. And so once you all understand the game and how to respond to these people when they're sending you contracts, then, okay, we got a situation now where all is great. We don't have this. You can buy yourself time. Let's put it like that. You can buy yourself time. You can be to the point where you pay it off. We show you how to do that as well. So once again, if you want to be a part of the session, go to unauniversity.com/learn, LEARN, unauniversity.com/learn, LEARN, and you can get in on the session and gain some knowledge about what these legal processes are and how they work. All right. I want to say thank you all once again for joining us. Y'all have any questions? Todd Randolph, loving us. Let me know. Can y'all still hear me? You know, sometimes my audio goes in and out. Let me know if y'all can hear me. And I just want to make sure I've said everything, because once again, and I'm going to recap on this right now before I get up out of here. So, you know, if y'all have any questions, let me know. I'm recapping on this. Now, in the recap, what you want to remember is that everything, thank you, loving us. Everything in the legal side is mimicking nature. All right? It's mimicking nature. And in understanding that, you can recognize what's going on. When I see something up here in the public, I know that there was a seed planted. So you're not going to come to me and tell me, oh, well, they just doing this to me and they didn't ever tell me. Yes, they did. If they're taking your house, or they got, especially if there's a court case for your house, we know that there were notices sent. There have to be notices sent. Again, it has to mimic nature. Nature says, all right, there's a seed planted. Well, what is the seed? That's the contract. Somebody planted a contract in the private, and you didn't handle your business in the private, which is why it turned into a whole tree. What is the tree? The tree is that lawsuit coming against you to take your house and your car and your whatever it is they're trying to take, your money. Because you didn't handle your business down here in the private. When they sent you a contract, when they planted that seed, and they made you aware of that seed, you need to plant your own seed to take care of that seed. You plant it in the private. And it's as simple as sending them a notice, a letter, through the mail, post office, United States Post Office, because then it becomes a federal matter and federally protected. And we talk about how you do that. So that's the whole deal with understanding how nature versus the legal process goes, and how the legal process is really mimicking nature. We got to understand that, because again, I talk about the hierarchy of law chart and how all of these laws have an order and a hierarchy. When you have that natural, when you're talking about that natural side, That natural side is dealing with, it comes right under universal laws. That comes up there before you start talking about a God. Everything comes from the universe. All right. So now we're understanding that. I hope if y'all have any questions, y'all feel free to hit me in the inbox. If y'all want to be a part of the Back to Basics, y'all go ahead and go to divalaree.com, DIV to the ALYRI.com, and y'all can get that and be a part of that seminar. Once again, it's going to allow you to be around others who are actually studying this. When we have study groups, you can be a part of that. When we have other sessions going on, you can be a part of that, and it's going to allow you a free consultation. You're going to get in, you're going to be able to see all of the videos from the seminar and really get a full understanding of what's really going on with respect to law and how to put all of your assets. Actually, this one deals with how to put your all capital letter name under trust. When you want to when you have your business and you want to be a part of the Trust Law Basics for Business seminar, we want you to go to unauniversity.com/learn, LEARN, unauniversity.com/learn, so that, you can be a part of it and, get your business and all of your assets under trust. All right. So we're going to get out of here for today. I want to thank you all for joining us. I sure do appreciate you. I love you. And I hope this information has served you well. If you want to be a part of this, my job, my desire is to make sure you have all of the information and all of the laws so that you can grow in knowledge and stand in law as you would like to. So, Diva, I love y'all. I thank you for joining me. I'm out. Bye-bye.